People's Archives here at the DC Public Library. And we are celebrating a finale, yes, that's right. And we are celebrating a finale for us, for Expose DC, after nearly 2 decades of featuring local photography. Every year, as you all know, we have an exhibition showcasing life and culture in the district through the eyes of the people who live, work, and love here. If you are one of the photographers that has been featured in one of our shows and is now part of this wonderful collection, please raise your hand. Over the last 18 years, many hundreds of photographers have shown us their vision of the city in one of our shows. Over that time, more than 10,000 people have come out to celebrations just like this one to see your work. We have been fortunate to have had many words written about Exposed over the years, but when people ask me what Exposed DC is, I often refer to the words of one of our photographers, our friend Joe Flood. He once wrote about the show, "If I had to explain what happened last year in the district, I would take them to an Exposed DC photography show. Full of feeling, the photos show what it was like to be alive during this time in the district." And when I think about why the photos in Exposed are so special, I often think about one of my favorite books on photography. It's called The Ongoing Moment by Jeff Dyer. In it, Dyer looks at the canon of American photography, and he sees all these recurring, simple motifs. Benches, street musicians, solitary women or men in overcoats. And he sees these scenes repeated over and over again by Stieglitz and Evans, by Lang and Arbus, each one lending their own vision to that scene. He says that together, these photographers have created an ongoing moment where these images and themes are continuously resonating and evolving through the eyes of each new photographer. So you might see why I think about this when I think about Exposed. Our photographers find all of the familiar scenes to our lives here in the district, from our daily metro rides, to our walk to the local bar, to the crowds at the cherry blossoms or a protest on the National Mall. Year after year, our photographers reshape these scenes into our ongoing moments in beautiful and strange, and sometimes absolutely stunning new ways. And I can't think of a more natural place to capture that moment than here at the DC Public Library, an institution that stewards our collective cultural memory and ensures it will stay a living one. Woohoo! I could not be more proud that the Exposed DC photography collection is going to be a small part of the memory that they care for. So now I'd like to turn it over for a moment to Laura Farley. She's the Assistant Manager for Digital Initiatives here at the People's Archives, and she has been instrumental in making this collection a reality. Laura?
Hello, everybody.
I feel like you're going to sing a little close to your face.
Hello, I am Laura Farley, and I am the Assistant Manager overseeing digital initiatives for the People's Archive here at the DC Public Library. And it is my absolute joy to welcome you here to the historic Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Library to join us in this wonderful celebration tonight. The mission of the People's Archive is to connect the people of DC with their history and their culture. And Heather really put it perfectly why this collection is a perfect place to be in this archive. This archive has been in existence since 1905, documenting the life and the experience of what it's like to live here in the District of Columbia. And Exposed DC perfectly captures what it's like to live, work, play, fight, love, and survive in the District of Columbia. And truly, it will help researchers in the future really see what it was like to live here in the beginning of the 21st century. So we are so honored to have it part of our collection. So I want to take just a moment moment to recognize the team that's here tonight that helped to make this collection possible. So our coordinator, Maya Thompson, is not here, but she was here all day. She made this event really come to life along with Heather, so thank you. And over here we have Dubian Ade, who was instrumental in getting the collection into Dig DC. Robert Clarose, who led tours and the digital preservation workshop today, and is also very instrumental to Dig DC. And then our fearless leader, Lisa Warwick, the manager of the People's Archive. So thank you so much for celebrating with us tonight. Please stop by our table. We have many handouts to celebrate this wonderful collection. Learn more about who we are. We would love to have you with us anytime to research. I'm going to hand it back over to Heather.
Thank you so much to Laura, as well as Maya and Ayana, and all of the people here at the library that helped create this collection, as well as this celebration here tonight. And before we toast, we do have one more thing to celebrate, because this celebration is the last for Expose DC after nearly 2 decades. So if you'll bear with me just a few moments, there are a few people that I need to thank for getting us here to this moment tonight. Many of you joined us back when this was actually called the DCist Exposed Photography Show. That's where this whole thing began, back at what was then a startup local news venture. We had a small army of DCist staffers who volunteered their time to learn how to perfectly hang a photo, or pour thousands of draft beers at a makeshift bar in the middle of a gallery. Our team at DCist made those first few years of Exposed possible and also extremely fun. I am especially grateful to my DCist friends who came out here tonight to celebrate so many years later. After DCist, we became Expose DC, a nonprofit organization that has grown and thrived through a staggeringly long list of partnerships with local businesses and community organizations. That includes a few who have helped us out here tonight, our friends at Aperturant and Capital Photography Center. Tonight, we are also thrilled to partner with Robin Bell,
Yay, Robin!
an incredible DC-based multimedia artist who created this custom projection that we've been watching all day with our entire collection of photos. He's going to do his last live remix right after this toast, so please stick around for that. I also want to shout out DJ Sequoia and Vishal out in the garden. They have provided the soundtrack for many, many years of Exposed shows, and we're really happy to have them here again tonight. And when it comes to support, I especially need to thank the DC Commission on Arts and Humanities. Their generosity has made this event tonight and so many of our years of our work possible over the years. Through all of these partnerships, Exposed has been able to stretch way beyond its annual show with community events and happy hours, classes and workshops, our Friday newsletter with all things photography, and so many special exhibitions. We have been very fortunate to have our show hosted at what I think are some iconic DC venues, from our first one at Warehouse.
Yay!
And I have to thank Molly and Paul Rupert, who are right here. They trusted us to do that first show, and we're so grateful for it. We had our 10th anniversary at the Carnegie Library in partnership with the DC History Center, and then all the way to tonight on this incredible rooftop garden. Nevertheless, Exposed has always remained a small organization, and many of our teammates have been with us since the very beginning. I do not have enough gratitude for my friend James Calder. He was a photographer in the show and asked to volunteer, and then quickly became my co-executive director for many years. He created so much of the infrastructure that allowed us to go from that first show to something that we could recreate year after year. And he's a damn fine photographer that helped shape the early curation of this collection. Jennifer Wade is another great photographer who I'm not going to look at. Who was also in the show, asked if she could volunteer, and is now one of our board members. She She has brought the very important theater director role to Exposed, helping us keep the experience of the show just as good as the images that are in it. Lee Bailey has brought her nonprofit business expertise to us, and she's also out here tonight leading and coordinating all of the volunteers who are running this event tonight. And a huge thank you to those volunteers, as well as the many, many volunteers over the years who helped us pull this off again and again. And then a thank you, of course, to our board members, Jonas Hassan, Sriram Gopal, Kim Keller, and Satya Panaluri. They have all generously volunteered their time and expertise to ensure Exposed DC's success. And then there is Noe Todorovich. Noe has led Exposed as the executive director ever since James and I basically ambushed her with a job many years ago. I cannot think of anybody who could have led Exposed through its second decade any better than Noe. She did it through the good times when there were almost too many opportunities that we could handle, and she did it all the way through the pandemic, coming up with creative ways for us to continue to gather, to celebrate photography, and celebrate our community. And finally, a last remark to all of the photographers who have been part of our community for so long, including those of you who have moved away from DC and flew back tonight to be here with us to celebrate. Our team at Exposed DC, we feel so fortunate to know you and to be part of what you have all created. This collection is our thank you to all of you. All right, are we ready for a toast?
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Heather.
Yeah. Thank you, Heather.
To everyone who is here tonight, because you love photography, or maybe because you love a photographer, or you just love this city, this collection is ours, but it is also now the people's. So instead of the end, let us toast to this ongoing moment. Cheers. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you, Exposed DC, for having us. I just want to make a quick note about what we're showing tonight. We were actually asked by the library in 2020 to work on the People's Archive in the reopening of this building. So in 2020, we made a video from 1905 to 2020. So when Heather asked us to come up with an idea, we said, this is the perfect time to merge the entire archive with the Exposed DC. So you actually see imagery from 1905 to today from all the different libraries in the mix. And if you wait till about 8:30, it's going to look really good. But I hope you enjoy it. But thank you all for being here, and thank you, Exposed DC, and thank you for this.